Okay, so now what I'm going to do is make sure that my placement is correct. And how I'm going to do that is making sure that where my objects are sitting is accurate to the picture, or if you're working from life, accurate to life. So something to think about is the lower on the paper your object is, the closer it appears to you. The higher on the paper the object is, the farther away it appears. So I like to start off by establishing where those bottom lines are with really light marks. None of this is going to show up in my final picture. It's all just going to be kind of smudged out. So if I decide that that's where I want my bottom line to be, in order for this cube to look like it's farther away, it needs to raise up on the page. So it's not a lot farther away, so I'll just raise it up a little bit and I'll say, well, that's where my cube's going to start. And then my sphere, decide where that goes. It's resting on top of the cube, so I just need to kind of decide how big I want my cube to be. All right, so I've determined where the bottom should be. Now I'm going to go to the tops and establish boundaries for that. In my quick little sketch, you can see when I drew it, my cone and my sphere are pretty close together, but in the real image, there's a big drop off. So this is my chance to change these things, and now I'm not having to like erase and make this cone perfect, because it was never perfect to begin with. All right, I will kind of compare objects to each other, like the top of this cone. I had it much higher to the sphere, but if I'm looking, it's like actually like not that far away from my the top of my cube. It might be actually like halfway. So just establishing like relationships of where one object is compared to everything else around it. It's about halfway up that sphere. So I'll make a little mark of where I think that should be. So now I kind of have this little boundary of like where my shapes belong, and I can actually start shaping them out. So when I am drawing a still life, I always start by drawing the object that's closest to me, and then I move backwards, because another way to show depth, to show 3D in a flat drawing, is by overlap. So objects that are closer to you are not only lower on the page, but they're also going to overlap the objects that are behind them. So I start with what's in front, and I'll draw out that first. So front is a cone. Here's a little artist trick for you. If you have a hard time just winging it with your angles, I take my Vine charcoal, and as long as my paper and my image that I'm going off of are the same, then I can lay this charcoal along this edge here, and then I transfer it over here without making sure I don't move it like this. So find that angle, transfer over here, and then all it is like up and down with your charcoal. Your charcoal, since it draws all over, it's going to make that line for me. So I'll match this angle here, move it over here, boop, 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 boop. So my charcoal's almost drawn this cone for me. I'll just go in and affect it. Do, 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 do. Okay, cone, done. All right, and I'm going to move on to my cube, and my cube has lots of angles happening here. So I think first off, I'll start with what's closest to me, which is this corner right here, and it's just a vertical line. No matter how you're looking at a cube shape that's either on paper or still life in front of you, the vertical lines are always going to remain vertical. They're never going to like tilt unless you're like your body's tilting. So vertical line will just be a vertical line. And then I'm just going to match my angles. Vertical line's a vertical line. Match that angle. This one. And then I have one that's back here that's like peeking out. Do you think I'm gonna need to move that vertical a little bit? All right, So I've matched all of my angles with my charcoal and go back and check them. This one looks a little bit standing a little bit high, so I can flatten that one out. Great thing about having already toned your paper is whenever you make a mistake, you can just kind of like rub it and it will go back and blend into your background. All right. Let's see. I kind of think I went a little too far with this guy, so I'm going to move that in some, and then look, I'll just make it disappear. And then a sphere. Oh gosh, this is the hardest one. Making a perfect circle. You can always cheat if you find something that's like about the right size. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Is this perfect? Huh, look at that. I did not even plan it. Okay. That's about where my sphere goes. Well, that just worked out perfectly. All right, have my shapes down. I'm gonna go ahead and add my table. Let's look and see where it's hitting your objects. Your little horizon line back here. You wanna give a line that determines where your table or your horizon is so that your objects can actually sit down. All right, now I have my objects drawn.